So imagine you're a billionaire CEO at a sold-out Coldplay concert. You're vibing. You're cuddled up next to someone who isn't your wife, thinking no one's going to notice. And then the Jumbotron finds you. Chris Martin calls you out. The crowd laughs. And then the internet finds out who you are. That's what happened to Andy Byron, CEO of Astronomer. And now his wife has divorced him. His name is blowing up online and the board at his company. Yeah, he's just been placed on leave. This is the biggest corporate scandal to come out of a concert. And it just keeps getting messier. Let's get into it because this one has HR drama, marriage betrayal, public humiliation, and a Coldplay soundtrack. Let's start with the moment that kicked off the whole dumpster fire. Andy Byron, a guy most of us hadn't heard of before this week, is the CEO of Astronomer, a billion-dollar data company. He's at a Coldplay concert. But instead of bringing his wife, Megan, who's been publicly supportive of his career for years, he shows up with Kristen, Kabat, his company's chief people officer. Translation, head of HR. Now, to be fair, maybe they thought they'd blend in. They sat way up in the nosebleeds, dressed low-key, probably hoping no one would notice. But what happens? The camera pans to them during one of those wholesome crowd interaction moments. They pop up on the screen. The crowd cheers, and immediately their faces say it all. Andy ducks behind the rail like he's hiding from the FBI. Kristen literally turns away and covers her face. Panic, pure panic. And then Coldplay frontman Chris Martin goes, "Oh, look." At these two, either they're having an affair, or they're just very shy. Mic drop. The crowd laughs. But online. That's when it exploded. After that concert clip hit TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, it was game over. People instantly went full detective mode. Redditors started digging. TikTok creators stitched the video and slowed it down frame by frame. And before Andy could even get back to his hotel, the internet had identified him as Andy Byron, CEO of Astronomer, and identified Kristen as Chief People Officer. Creators pulled up LinkedIn profiles, company bios, and yep, their family photos. Turns out Andy is married, Kristen is married, both have kids. This wasn't just a close coworker situation. This was a full-blown affair caught in 4K, with Coldplay playing in the background. Internet comments were savage. The man builds a company on data transparency and still thought no one would see this. Caught cheating on the kiss cam is wild. Imagine losing your wife and your job over a concert. Now, let's talk about the real heart of this story. Megan Carrion. Byron, Megan's been married to Andy for years. They have children. She's been his biggest supporter, showing up at events, sharing milestones, posting family photos. Before this scandal broke, her socials were full of pride. Proud wife, proud mom, family first. But now she's been thrust into a nightmare. While she was home assuming her husband was away for business, the entire internet was watching him cozy up to another woman on a Jumbotron. Even worse, Chris Martin's joke turned it into a viral meme overnight. And how did Megan respond? No public meltdown, no messy Instagram posts. Just quiet power. She removed Byron from her name on social media. That's it. And the internet fell in love with her. She's being hailed as graceful, composed, and stronger than most people would be in that situation. Let's be real, this scandal had two camps, Team Andy and Team Megan, and the public didn't even hesitate. Twitter threads popped off with support for Megan. TikTok creators were literally crying in their Stitch videos, telling her to take the house, the kids, and the company. While she's at it. One viral tweet said, Andy Byron's wife just became the internet's favorite stranger. Another, drop the Byron, keep the dignity. Queen behavior, even LinkedIn. Yes, LinkedIn turned into a war zone. People were commenting Coldplay lyrics on Andy's old posts. Comments like, when you try your best, but you don't succeed, were everywhere. You know your career's in trouble when LinkedIn becomes petty. Now this part is huge, because up until now, it was mostly just social backlash. But then Astronomer's board of directors stepped in. After several days of headlines and viral videos, Andy was placed on an indefinite leave of absence. Let me break that down. He wasn't fired yet, but this is the board's way of saying, we need to clean this up and distance the company from the scandal. Now, reports say internal investigations are underway. They're looking into policy violations, improper relationships, misuse of company resources, and whether Kristen was promoted under shady circumstances. Kristen has already been removed from the company website, and sources claim her work email is deactivated. Yep, this is no longer a concert meme. This is corporate fallout. Let's take a second and appreciate the irony. Kristen Kabat, the woman in the video, is the chief people officer. In most companies, that's the person in charge of enforcing workplace policies, preventing harassment, and making sure these kinds of relationships don't happen. So not only was this unethical, it was hypocritical on every level. You're writing up interns for being 5 minutes late, and then snuggling your CEO at a Coldplay concert while both of y'all have spouses at home. Come on, this wasn't just bad optics. This shattered every ounce of trust from the employees watching it unfold. We can't talk about this story without bringing up the people who didn't sign up for any of it. The children. Andy and Megan have kids. Kristen has kids. And this wasn't just some private affair. This was a viral moment. That means those kids are walking into school while classmates are showing videos of their dad on the kiss cam with another woman. That's real-life trauma. And it's going to stay with them far longer than any meme. No kid should have to experience their parents' infidelity like this in public, online, forever. Now let's get into Andy's statement, because oh boy, he finally breaks his silence. And what does he say? I want to apologize to my wife, my family, and my team. I'm taking time to reflect. Okay, basic damage control. Sure. But then he adds, it's troubling that what should have been a private moment became public without my consent. Sir, that's not a private moment. That was a stadium-wide broadcast. You don't get to cheat in front of 50,000 people and then blame the camera guy. There were even rumors that his team tried to get Coldplay to issue a statement clarifying they didn't mean to single him out. Chris Martin, if you're watching, please don't apologize. You just called what you saw. After everything, the backlash, the memes, the jokes, the leave from work, Megan officially files for divorce. And that's when insiders say Andy broke down. Close sources claim he's been a mess behind the scenes. Not eating, not sleeping, isolating from friends, losing it, and honestly, it's hard to feel bad. Actions have consequences. You don't get to build a perfect public image, destroy your marriage, violate your company's ethics, and then cry. When it all comes crashing down, Megan's been quiet, but strong, dignified, and everyone watching is rooting for her to take everything he's worth. The wildest part, even if Andy keeps his job, even if Megan doesn't speak, even if Kristen disappears, the internet will never forget this moment. That Coldplay clip is eternal now. It's on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit. It'll pop up in memes for years. It'll be used in HR training videos as what not to do. And every time Coldplay plays Fix You at a concert, someone somewhere is going to whisper, remember that cheating CEO? Andy Byron's legacy went from tech innovator to the dude who got caught cheating by Chris Martin. You can't delete that from Google. So here's the final tally. Wife gone, job on hold, respect shattered, internet ruthless, Coldplay still unbothered. Let me know in the comments. Do you think Andy should be fired permanently? Should Megan go full scorched earth in the divorce? And was Chris Martin out of pocket or just telling the truth? Anyway, this concludes today's video. Be sure to subscribe to LoveTube for future celebrity videos and turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Until then, see you in the next one. Heat.